recently signed an executive order suspending foreign aid and placing an independent agency known as the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, under the purview of the State Department. In the past, the agency has had close ties with one globalist billionaire, at least, George Soros, and some of his foundations for many decades, according to reports by the Heritage Foundation. With us is Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch. Tom, what do we know of George Soros and his connections with some of these foreign aid disbursements from agencies like USAID?
Well, Judicial Watch uncovered how George Soros linked groups and his Open Society Foundation partnered with USAID, received funding from taxpayers as a result. And I don't know about you, but I don't think George Soros needs the help of the taxpayer to do anything he wants. And what happens is Soros is active in a particular country. USAID comes and partners with him directly or indirectly, and entities he controls or funds. And the advocacy resulting from that is leftism and anti-Americanism, and just pushing the agenda that the left pushes here, they do in other countries with taxpayer support.
Is George Soros and his foundations taken together, something then of a corrupting influence on foreign aid dispersed by agencies like USAID, do you suppose?
Well, you know, the American taxpayer wants, to a degree there's going to be foreign aid at all, to go to help people who are in dire circumstances. George Soros's entities don't need the help. And to send money abroad to help left-wing advocacy is not something most taxpayers would sign up for.
What do we know, for instance, about George Soros and maybe his political leanings, which might create the impression that some of his programs, some of the aid supporting his programs, are not consistent with perhaps the aims or the expectations of most average Americans, do you think?
Well, notably, he's a major supporter, which is his right, of Democratic Party and far-left interests here in the United States. That approach hasn't changed, isn't different internationally. And if you want taxpayer money to be funneled to George Soros, there needs to be more transparency rather than having it hidden through these USAID programs disguised as really urgent humanitarian-style aid.
Is that a coincidence, then, that there is this connection with George Soros and his foundation, and there are so many Democratic lawmakers who are stepping out in front to defend USAID and its foreign aid programs?
Well, I don't want to overstate the relationship other than to say the left relies on USAID to fund its advocacy abroad, and they leverage the implicit support of the U.S. government, which comes with the USAID funding, to increase its power and leverage in countries where you don't need a lot of money to have an impact. Just a few $1 million goes a long way, and the left uses that not only to advance their own interests, but in my view, to undermine traditional U.S. foreign policy interests and our national security.
Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch. Tom, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Hey, good to be with you, too. Thank you, John.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.